this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. All right. Welcome to How to Create and Publish a Guided Journal for Your Business. As you can see, I'm excited because it's like my favorite subject, and I'm always excited to see a new group of individuals joining who are curious about creating, who have already started creating, or looking for information on how to create a guided journal. Who is this for? This is for individuals who are entrepreneurs, people who are service providers, consultants, and coaches, individuals who are looking for a way to record family stories or things that they can bind and have other individuals go through their healing process. People who are passionate about a particular hobby or something that they're truly invested in, that they really think that other people need to learn how to do this and find joy, find happiness, find healing using guided journals. And so it's for those people. It's for you. That's who it's for. Like in grand summary, it's for everybody who's here in this room. So a little housekeeping. Like I said before, take notes because it'll give us more time for Q&A when we get to the end of all of this information. And then, I won't have to break it up and you miss out on the richness of the time. Because I want to honor this time that we have together, I'm not trying to we could go 4 or 5 hours, but I'm not trying to do that. Like it's really, I'm going to keep it within that hour and a half moment and time for us together. So this presentation is 1 hour, and then the Q&A session, we got 30 minutes for Q&A. And what I've recognized is once they get through all of the information, it's not very many questions at the end of it, but please write down your questions and do that. Respect the community by paying attention that if you unmute yourself, that the noise level in the background, so that you're not distracting other people that are being a part of this moment in time. And honor yourself because this is for you. You chose to be here. I'm honored and humbled that you have chosen to share this time with me. It feels good to know that I have information to share and that your life will be changed as a result of this 1 hour that we have shared together. So, what to expect? Expect to be ready to get off of this line and get ready to get started. Like, I'm going to give you what it is that you absolutely need, that you can go for it and fly by the time we finish this 1 hour workshop, right? Also expect that I am an entrepreneur. I am a transformational life coach. I am one that does this because I love it, that I'm also going to make an offer at the end of this course. But whether we choose to work together or we're a good fit or not, you're still going to leave here with all the tools that you need to make it work, to make it happen without a problem. Okay. So I am what they call I'm not the gatekeeper coach. I'm not gatekeeping no information. You about to get it. Okay. So now it'll be up to you to execute the plan that is required in order for you to get what it is that you need to get. Okay. So, and also a big, 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 big gift, an unbelievable gift that I'm going to give to you if you stay here to the end of this course. So let's take a moment, deep breath. And in that deep breath, how would you feel knowing that you created an impactful guided journal that helped someone transform their life by using the systems that you have learned over time? A guided journal that empowered them to believe in themselves, to explore new ideas, to live a good, healthy, healed life. How would that make you feel? Now I want you to claim it. I want you to claim that you will create an impactful guided journal, that this guided journal will change people's lives. They will inspire and motivate transformation. You will create a new stream of income and you will attract your ideal client. So who am I? I am Haja Camila Shuaib. I'm a transformational life coach. I am dedicated to holding space for women to explore and stand in their greatness. I am dedicated to the preservation and documentation of our human experiences for spiritual transformation. Journals are my chosen tool for this documentation, empowering others to live a life that is full, rich, abundant, sweet, happy, peaceful, and juicy. Guided journals provide a space for transformation. So how guided journals became my calling. Let me close that out. Sorry. How guided journals became my calling? Well, I got my first journal when I was about 7 years old. My mom brought a journal home from work, and it was really like a calendar book. And I still have it to this day. And when I look through it, I see all of the dreams and my first experience seeing the Wiz as a kid, things I wanted to do, places I wanted to go, friends I didn't like, when I was picked on, and when I had friends that I did enjoy. When I got mad at my mom, it was my venting space for all the feelings. And over time, it became a tool that I used as an entrepreneur, a tool that I used when I was going through a struggle in life. And then I found out later that my grandmother was a journaler. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know she journaled. But when she transitioned, my father said, I found this case of all of these different journals that she wrote in and of her life experiences. And so I knew that it was just something that was a part of me to want to continue journaling. When I went through a divorce, through that divorce, I was, I was doing all of this journaling, but my journaling was really a lot of like, sadness and woe is me, or will I find love? It was just in this one direction. And I was like, I have got to find a different way to communicate with myself and not keep swimming in the sadness. And I found this book called Facing Love Addiction by Pia Melody. And when I read that book, she had these writing prompts and activities in it. And I was like, this is dope. I had never experienced a book that had activities in it that allowed me to really engage with what they were teaching in it. And I come to find out they didn't call it guided journals at the time. They called it passion books or different other titles. But I come to realize it was guided journals. And I went looking for more books like that. And it was at the time, it was not very popular as it is, as it's becoming now. And through that time, I recognized that many of them did not have my cultural or spiritual sensitivities in mind when it was being written. I was like, it was kind of written from one kind of cultural lens, from one perspective. And I was like, I need to learn how to create these because I know I'm not the only Black working through entrepreneurship, working through sadness, working through, self-esteem and self-love. I know I'm not that only girl. So I knew that I needed to create guided journals, and that's what started me on this journey. So are you ready? Drop in the chat. Ready, 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 ready. Let's do it. 3 keys you must have when you start. 1, a service, a clearly thought out life experience. This clearly thought out life experience, many of you have something that you do, you have something that you're passionate about. If you're in education, if you're in early childhood development, if you work with individuals who are working through addiction, if you're working with people who have low self-esteem, if you're a youth service provider, if you're in the area of ministry, if you're like, whatever it is, you have a life experience that led you to this work that is an assignment on your heart, right? And as a result of that, you have people that come to you for advice, or they come to you for comfort, or they come to you for inspiration and motivation. And it has led you into this work. If you're a clinician, if you are a cook, if you are a fitness and health person, there is something that you went through in life that led you to this point where you understand what to do when whatever the situation is that someone else is faced with, right? So I knew for me, this ideal of self-love and spiritual empowerment was a big thing for me because I remember what it was before I got there. And I remember the systems of things that I had to go through to recognize when healing is taking place, to recognize that I was worthy of love, to recognize my confidence and that I was a gift, and that within me is the divine answer for my life, right? And because of that, I exude that energy to people that I come in contact with. And it's like, well, how did you come to that point? And that made me sit and reflect with myself, like, yeah, well, how did I get to this point? And I had to be open to recognizing what were the things that I changed in my life. Who are the people that I had to release in order to be prepared for this next chapter? So be clear about what your life experience is, and whatever that life experience is, that is the thing that is going to guide your guided journal. Key number 2, you need to have a Canva account, Pages, or a Keynote program. So the other program, when I say Pages or Keynote, it's whatever you use to create PowerPoint if you've ever created a PowerPoint program, like if it's on a Mac, I think it's Pages and Keynote. You can use those platforms to design and create your journal. So my first one that I ever created, I used Pages and Keynote to design it because I didn't really understand how to use Canva. So there's a very specific way to do that. If you have any of these programs, whatever program you use to create PowerPoint programs, you could use that, or you can use Canva. Canva is like a one-stop shop for all of the things. And so if you have any of those available on your laptop, you can get started, right? And the last one is a KDP account. What is KDP? For those that do not know what KDP is, KDP is the Amazon printing self-publishing platform. So this self-publishing platform on Amazon is something that you would upload your program onto. And I usually tell people and we'll get into details about this. When you use KDP, if you're not going to use Amazon as the platform to sell your journal, it's always good to have the KDP program because you could order the sample. When you order the sample, it gives you an opportunity to see it printed out, right? You get a chance to see and feel the pages. And it's important to see and feel the pages because you may not like the layout when you get it in hand. What you see digitally is going to translate a little differently when you get it printed. And the printing is, if you get a printed, sample, it's only about maybe $8 or $9, depending on if you're doing a hardcover or if you're doing a soft cover. So it can run between $5 to $9, depending on hardcover or soft cover platform. Okay. So it's good to have a KDP. I used to have on there Barnes and Noble, but I only used Barnes and Noble because at the time they created a hardcover, and now KDP offers a hardcover. So I didn't use Barnes and Noble because the cost was a lot higher through the Barnes and Noble platform as opposed to through the KDP platform. Okay. Next. All right, so now we're getting into the meat of it. This is where, pull out your phone and be ready to take the screenshot. If the notes part of it is too much, I'll tell you specific slides that you should probably take a little screenshot of so you'll have it. But here's where we're going to get into the real details of creating your guided journal, okay? So the first one, the importance of guided journals for self-improvement. We're going to cover that. Second, we're going to cover how to create the transformative content. That's 2. And then the last key we're going to do to unlock your guided journal experience is how to publish a guided journal, how publishing a guided journal can increase your revenue. Okay, so we're going to go into details of each of those points. All right, so 1, the importance of guided journals for self-improvement and service-based businesses. Big misconception about creating a guided journal, that you need to be an expert or have specific qualifications to create a guided journal. Has anyone ever heard this or had this thought yourself? If you have, let me know. Drop in there. Yes, that is something that I've always heard. You got to be qualified. Well, I'm here to tell you, no, you do not have there. The qualifications is that you lived it, you are there, you know what it is, and you have a system that has helped you through it. For example, I always use this example. I don't know why a real estate agent is what's coming to me. Like if you're in the world of real estate and you're thinking about the first time home buyer, there's a process that someone needs to go through to prepare themselves to purchase their first home. It's not just this thing where you just go in there, get your credit score and just give me some money, I go buy the house. No, there's some things that you have to be able to recognize financially. You have to have all of the tools and things in place to know what kind of home it is that you're looking for beyond the credit score, or if your credit score isn't in order yet, and then there's some steps that you can do to improve your credit score, the accountability for saving towards a house. Like this is a guided journal. You could create this guided journal for the first time home buyer. So, you being a real estate agent makes you qualified to do so. Maybe you're a new mom, right? And you, as a new mom, you're not a doctor or anything else, but maybe you're a new mom that gave birth at home, as opposed to choosing to give birth in the hospital. You had an experience of doing a home birth. And as a result of doing that home birth, you have a system in place. These are the things that I put in place in order to be prepared for a home birth. What was your experience? You're sharing what your story is. If it's a page where you're talking about who are your resources, what would you do in case of emergency? How do you feel about this option of having a home birth? Maybe in encouraging them and making them confident that they can pull off having a home birth. So this is what makes you an expert, because you know the ins and outs of it, right? If you're a doula even, or you're that mom, or the mom that's a new mom, and what is that journey shifting out of not having a child to the new world of being a parent? There's a guided journal experience for that. Someone who's preparing to leave their job to go into entrepreneurship. What is the strategy and plan? I'm not quitting my job tomorrow, but what do I need to have in place to prepare myself to resign from this job and move into a new job, or to prepare myself for retirement? Maybe there's a guided journal in you for something like that, right? So the options are absolutely limitless as to what you can create, but you want to pull from the space that you understand. What have you experienced? So when I write this journal around the ideals of self-love and self-care and self-awareness and how to work through anxiety as an intuitive and empath, it's like, okay, what did I do to work through that process? And I had to keep track of, well, okay, I have my daily rituals. What do I do daily? What are the ways that I check in with myself? Who are my resources? And I created my guided journal based on that, because I know I'm not the only one that works through anxiety as an empath, recognizing what energy is mine and what isn't mine, like being very clear as to what that looks like, right? So that's what makes me qualified. And that's what makes you qualified based on whatever your experience is in the area that you're passionate about and wanting to create this guided journal. Okay. Does that make sense? Am I talking too fast? Let me know because I get juiced. Okay. So we good? We good? Let me know. I opened up the little chat box so I can see. Y'all still with me? Don't be shy to type it in that chat box. I need to know that you're okay. Okay. As long as you're still with me. Good. Let's go. All right. So, truth. Here's the truth about this. The truth is, while having relevant knowledge or experience can be helpful, it's not necessary to be an expert to create a guided journal. Many successful guided journals are created by individuals who are passionate about the topic and have a proven system. Passionate, proven system, and a unique perspective to share. The unique perspective is just as unique as your fingerprints. Like many of us, so some of us are moms in here, some of us are siblings, some of us are, entrepreneurs. So like some of us are grandparents. Your unique experience, even though we may have that in common, parenting in common, we have a different approach to parenting, right? Even though the people are from different faith traditions, we have a different approach to it, right? So it's like that is the unique perspective is absolutely something that's needed, because it is from you that you are offering that unique gift that no one else has. It's something that I call the Kool-Aid theory, right? I could send every one of you off with a packet of Kool-Aid and some sugar. And when I send you off and I say, okay, bring me back some Kool-Aid, as creative as you want it to be. Someone might bring it back in a pitcher with some ice. Someone might bring it back and they put slices of lemon. Someone might bring it back and they froze it. They made it frozen to frozen slushies. Someone might make popsicles. Someone might serve it in a margarita glass and add a little shot in it. Like, however it is, because it's your unique experience that adds to the recipe of whatever the topic is. The key is to be passionate about the topic. The key is to have a proven system as to what it is that you do and how it has worked. You be the evidence as the author. Are you the evidence of what you're speaking about in this guided journal? If you are, absolutely, that's it. And you're the unique perspective on the particular topic. So be okay to drill down on, well, why do I like this? Why am I attracted to this this kind of work? And what is it going to require for me to create a guided journal that someone else needs to find joy in cooking vegan foods, in gardening, whatever it might be? Okay. So love it. If you love it, then you're going to have a great time creating a guided journal. Not only one, but you might end up coming up with multiple of them. I've worked with some clients that started out with one idea, and it was too much information to put in one guided journal that they realized they had to create a series of journals. And it's like, yeah, that's good. You should do that, because you don't want to burn them out on one set or one publishing of this one topic, okay? Because you want them to engage with it. All right, so what a guided journal is, it's a type of journal that includes prompts or questions to help guide the user's reflection and writing. The prompts can be related to a particular theme or topic and are intended to help the user explore their thoughts and feelings more deeply. Guided journals can be used for a variety of purposes, such as personal growth, it could be for goal setting, and it could be for self-exploration. Okay, so breather. This is where the big meat comes. You want to make sure that you have be ready to take a screenshot of what it is I'm about to share with you on these next ones, because you'll need this information. Okay, how to create transformative content, transformative content, the design, and then the content, right? So here's the thing that I want to I make so very clear. Like, everyone thinks that the biggest assumption is that you create this guided journal with a bunch of questions in it. And though, yes, you can do that. Yes, you can. You can. And there's some that are very successful in doing such. My system is, you want the writer to be transformed. Why? Because they look for that experience again. For example, when you watch a movie that you really like and it stirs up a certain emotion in you, a new way of thinking, what happens if there's a certain day you'll watch that movie again? Sorry about my neighbor's dog. You'll watch that. Close my window. Okay. You will watch that movie again because it made you feel a thing. It brought out a certain level of emotions within you. So you watch a movie more than once. So it's like, some people ask, like, what is that movie that you could watch over and over and over again? When you name that, why? Because I was transformed when I watch it. It took me someplace else. It made me feel some things when I experienced it. Your guided journal has got to do exactly that. And a book full of just questions is not going to create that experience. You want to take them on a journey from the beginning to the end so that they can recognize, oh, this is a ritual I want to keep going with. Like, when they fill it up, they're like, you know what? I want another one, right? And you could do it with a simple concept. One of my guided journals, and I designed this on Canva. Let me just give you an idea of how simple it could be. This one is my top seller. This one is my self-love journal. And all it is pages for them to create a love note to self, to the point that when people fill it up and they revisit these love notes that they've written to themselves, it still gives them the same feeling each and every time. This is my simplest one. My more complex one does well, but this was just a simple one because the first one I created, it had a little section for a love note. But my best friend, she said, I love the love note to self. Have you thought about making a book with just love notes to self? And I designed this on Canva, and I'll show you how we get the art and all of those things. And so I have the little intro letter that welcomes them and tells them how to use it. And then it's just the simple pages, the pages of my dearest self, where they write the letter and love always. And this was something that was easy for me to create. It didn't require a whole bunch of design. It was something that I could do easily. Okay. So with that, you want to make sure that whatever it is, you're taking them on a journey that even when they finish filling it up, it will make them want another one. Okay. What is that activity? It could be that simple or as complex as my other one. And I'll show you that one again later, but let's keep it moving. So we're going to go over the design and content. First thing, facts about creating a guided journal. While many guided journals focus on personal growth and self-improvement, they also can be used for a variety of other purposes. For example, you could create a guided journal for mindfulness, creativity, career development, or any other topic that you are passionate about. Okay. Here's the one you want to take a screenshot of. Take a screenshot of this. So, design hack, measurements. When you create your guided journal, you have got to make sure the measurements are correct, or it's not going to upload properly and you'll be frustrated over and over again. The first time I created mine and tried to upload it on KDP, I could not get these measurements right. It was driving me nuts because it kept kicking it back. So what you do is when you load it onto KDP, you decide on what size you want to create. And if you're creating, for example, a 7x10 or a 6, let's just choose any size, 7x10 size journal. When you load it onto KDP, and not KDP, let me slow down. When you go on Canva to design your pages, you want to put the measurements in the window of Canva of 7.125 and then the length 10.25. Okay. You want to put those measurements in there and choose in the KDP account that you want to choose to print this with a bleed. Bleed means that you leave a border for them to cut the pages properly to make sure that none of the information bleeds out to the edge of the page. So you don't want your writing to be so far off onto the edge, right? When you're in the Canva, it gives you enough of a border to make sure that your content doesn't get lost in there. So no matter what size it is, if it's 6x9, you will go 6.125 by 9.25. In inches, we're doing inches in Canva, okay? And that is the same for Adobe and for PowerPoint. Put it in inches, not by the, whatever the measuring matrix you use for your country, no, change it over to inches when you load it in there on that platform, okay? So what screen isn't showing the correct measurements? Which screen? Someone said something about the correct measurements. You have to go into Canva. So can everybody see that I put 0.25 inches width and 0.25 inches length? Can you see this slide clearly? Let me know. Yes, yes. Okay. So the measurements bleed, that comes up in KDP. The measurement where it says bleed, when you choose on the KDP account, which one you're trying to create, it will ask you, do you want to print this with or without bleed? And I'm saying always choose with a bleed. So when you're uploading, they're going to ask you these details. What size journal, what size book you want to create, right? They're going to ask you, do you want white pages or cream color pages? They're going to ask you if your pages are in color or if they're in black and white. Then they're going to ask you what the size is and if you're going to put bleed or no bleed. Always choose bleed. Okay. All right. So we'll go into detail about that if we have time in the Q&A. But yes, always choose to print and bleed, right? And that's just printer language. It's just printer language. That's all that is, because it's like you want to make sure that the imagery is in the frame of the page, that the words do not travel outside of the page. And when they cut the pages, your words get cut off. So that's why they use the term bleed. That's just printer language. Okay. Theme. The other part is a theme. Create a cohesive theme. Know your brand image and use vecteezy.com. So here's the clarity around that. Cohesive theme means if your theme is around, I just did some template pages on, Reiki practitioner pages. So if you're creating a guided journal about the chakras, or you're creating a guided journal about Reiki practice or what have you, then you want to make sure that you're not all of a sudden throwing in pictures of an elephant, or you're not all of a sudden putting in there, sparkles and bunch of lines and stars, right? it's not cohesive. So you know you want to find a themed idea that goes clearly with what it is that you're creating. What is your theme? So with my guided journal, I used butterflies. I had a lot of butterflies in the little details of it. I had butterflies on the cover of it. I made sure that in different little corners, I might have had outlines of a butterfly. I had these different moments from the beginning to the end so that when people are engaging with it, they recognize, oh, okay, transformation is taking place, right? Like this is speaking ascension, right? This is speaking very light and feminine, like just these little details that makes it a cohesive theme, right? I had a client that did one and hers was lotus. So in there, she had different designs of lotus where it was a background transparency on a page, whether it was just on each corner in the page on her design. So identify what it, and even the design components being where she might have wrote where they could write, answer the questions inside of each petal of the lotus. Like there were different things that she used in there that allowed them to engage with it well, okay? So knowing your brand image has a lot to do with that. Who are you? Are you in the wellness space? Are you in the health space? Are you in the financial space? You might have more dollar signs and money bags and coins and dollars and whatever it is that you may want to show up in there, okay? Make sure that you're very clear about how that shows up. Last is this website called vecteasy.com. Vecteasy.com, they have license-free art available, but they also have where you could pay for a membership or subscription with their site where you can pull up different art designs. The thing is that you want to keep in mind, if you choose to use any art from Vecteasy, you have to change a small element of it if you're going to use it for commercial reasons. So if you choose an outlay, a spread of art, what you're going to need to do is maybe change the background color, or maybe you're just going to use one aspect of the design. So this design, this rose pattern, I've got off of Vecteasy. And what did I do is I changed it to where the yellow rose is the focal point, and I changed the background coloring a little bit, right? And I added my logo to it. So if you make a change to it, it's okay. You can't use it exactly the way that you found it on that site. So I give that as a tool because not everybody is a graphic artist, right? And not everyone has the time to vet a graphic artist through Fiverr, though you can use Fiverr. It's not a problem. You can use them, but I'm saying that you can you won't limit yourself to how many designs you can create by going on this site and being able to pull up the different design aspects and choices, okay? So lastly is to create a unique experience. So I know majority of you guys probably found me by way of the video that I created using a QR code. I created a QR code for my journal as an introduction, and I did it on Canva. So this was the QR code that I put in the very beginning of the journal, and you could scan it now while you're on there and you could see what it does. And I created it by using YouTube, and let me tell you how it's helpful. If you are, I mean, it's so many things, it's just limitless as to what you could do with it. With the QR code, I uploaded a short little video on YouTube. And when I uploaded the video, the only thing I changed on there is that the only people that can access this video are people who have the link. It does not show up publicly. It's on my page, but I have it under, you can only, if you have the link, you can view it. So everyone who has this journal, they'll scan that square and it'll send them to my YouTube page for that video. It's hot here, hold on. Okay. So it will send them to that video, and that video is just pretty much an introduction and welcoming them to the right experience, which is the name of my guided journal. Now, where this could go is so unlimited, right? One of the ideas, I come up with ideas on how to use this QR code like insane. If you're someone that's creating a cookbook, or say that you're creating, how to create go vegan for 30 days. Let's say that I'm going to create a guided journal and go vegan for 30 days. And in there, you're tracking, giving them an ideal of a list of foods that they can get. You can record yourself creating the meal, right? And put a QR code next to the recipe. And now they have this interactive experience of how this goes and what it is that they want to create. Now it's a living journal experience, right? Maybe you do a 30-day fitness journal, and in there you have a QR code for your ab workout, a QR code for your stretching workout. You have a QR code for, with different foods. It could be a coaching and motivation video that you have in there. And you can add this to your guided journal. It could be, it's just so unlimited. If you're creating a devotional, and maybe in that devotional you have a page where you're creating like the different prayers in there, or you're doing all of these different things, it's unlimited as to what you can create for them in that experience by creating the QR code through Canva. Okay, so that should be good. Now let's go. Next, let's take a deep breath. We're still on content. This is the content. Y'all still with me? Let me know if you're still with me. Yes, yes, yes. If you're still with me, let me know. Let me know. It helps if I know. Yes, okay. Because I know it's a lot. Okay, good, good. It could be a lot all at once. So this is the next meaty part. Okay. So up next, we have this methodology I call the birthright method. The birthright method is my system for creating the content and around creating the transformative content, not just a bunch of lines and questions, though you're more than welcome to do so. But I'm saying if you want success in it, you want to create an experience with your guided journal. You want there to be an experience with your guided journal, okay? So here's this method, my birthright method. Of course, the first thing you think of is like, the slogan is always, abundance is my birthright, joy is my birthright. Okay, that's great. That's what I was feeling when I wrote this up, because I said I need to figure out what is this journey I'm taking them on to remind the writer that you have every right to self-love. You have every right to financial freedom. You have every right to joy, right? So whatever your guided journal is leading them through, you're trying to let them know that you have every right to a healthy birthing experience, whatever it is, right? So as you see, each letter stands for something, and I'm going to break down each one of those for you so you can understand the arch of what this experience is going to be for your writer. So, methodology: bump, inspire, realization, thinking, and habits. Go ahead and screenshot this moment for yourself. It's a helpful outline for creating the content. So first, bump. In this step, of course, you might think of a pregnancy bump, right? But I was thinking about like a speed bump, or like a little turbulent, a little hiccup, a little moment, a little obstacle. That's really what I was thinking of, right? So with bump, in this step, you identify the obstacles or challenges that your target audience faces. Once you know who it is that you're creating this guided journal for and where it is you want them to go, what is stopping them from, having confidence? What is stopping them from whatever it is that you're trying to teach them? So if someone is, like I'm gonna stick with the vegan for 30 days thing. If you know someone that's like, okay, I'm gonna go vegan for 30 days, what is the obstacle that they always face around deciding to do this 30-day vegan experience? Well, the obstacle may be, the food isn't tasty. The obstacle may be having the resources and the tools necessary to make a good and tasty meal. The obstacle may be that I'm in a home with a bunch of other people who are not vegan, and I'd have to cook 2 types of meals. Like it could be a bunch of, identify all the exhaust all the obstacles that could possibly come up for someone that has to go through this journey in your journal. Once you identify those obstacles, this is where you now know this is where I have to undo. I have to break down these obstacles and make them small, make them overcome what these challenges or obstacles are, right? What is the challenge of going through losing a loved one? What is the challenge of, raising a child with special needs? What are those challenges? When you identify it, now you have to create the system necessary to help them work through what the obstacle is, okay? Next, inspire. This step involves providing inspiration to your reader. You want to inspire them. What are some quotes that you might need to put between your pages? What is your story of triumph? What is your testimony in the space of this conversation that would be helpful to your reader to inspire them to keep going, to inspire them and understand that they are worthy of getting to a good place around this subject? What is the inspiration? If you're doing this 30-day vegan, like, this is what helped me to get healthier. I was struggling with high blood pressure. I was struggling with this or that. And when I chose to go vegan, then that's what it is that these are the results of me making this choice, right? So inspire them through this journey. Find out what that is. Realization. The realization step focuses on guiding your reader to a specific realization or insight. What is the aha moment? What is the thing that you are going to allow them to discover about themselves on this journey, right? That they were able to, talk their other family into joining them on this 30-day, and how it increased their energy, and whatever the case may be. What is the aha moment that you want to bring them to on this guided journal? Identify it, be clear about it, take them through that step, right? Then thinking. The thinking step expands the realization by encouraging readers to engage in critical thinking and analysis. This is where the writing prompts can be helpful. This could be where you give them a chance to reflect on the journey up until a certain point. And when you have gotten them to recognize that, then it's like, okay, let's think about this new way of being. What does it look like when the 30 days are over? Is this something that you're going to continue to do? Have you decided that? Have you seen the difference in what your body is doing and how you're thinking, and brain fog and whatever comes up for you? Like, really, like, drill down, ask them the right questions to get them to understand what it is that they're going through. What is their relationship with foods that are not vegan? And where did that come from? And how did that make you feel? What was the difference? What do you miss about the food that you were eating before? Like, all of that stuff. You want to get them to start thinking about this new choice and this new way of being, right? Next is habits. The final step in this focus on developing new habits and rituals that support positive change. So what are the ongoing things that you want them to do? Do they need to meal prep every Sunday, where you have a little spot in there where they meal prep or go grocery shopping and figure out what are those new things that they want to incorporate within the week? Maybe you have on there, every week you have them explore a new vegetable. Like, this week, we're going to focus on certain roots and vegetables, right? And then that gives them some focus to really challenge them, to stretch themselves, right? What are those habits? What are the habits? Maybe it's organizing your refrigerator. What are some ways to do that? So come up with what the habits and things are that would make sense. And I'll show you mine as to how I utilize each and every one of these steps to take my writer on this particular journey, okay? So this is what you want to incorporate for your ways of being that will make the writer have a full-on transformative experience. Okay, so let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. Let's just breathe, take a breath, like, give yourself a minute. I'm gonna stop the share just for a quick moment to give you a second to, like, recoup, gather up. But before that, I want to know, is this helpful? Drop in the chat if this is helpful for you, if you have some information, gathering some information that you can put to work right now before we get to the next segment. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, it's helpful, very helpful. So much, right on. Good stuff. Okay. I love it. I'm glad to know it. All right. So let's keep it pushing. Let me save. Let's open up and go to the next part. So this is the part I always enjoy talking about too. Good. There we go. Okay. Here we are. And took a deep breath. We ready? Write down your question. Make sure, because I know you got some real good questions, or maybe not. Maybe I already answered them. But either way, let's keep it pushing. Here we go. How guided journals can increase revenue. We like this subject. Yes, money, drop the dollar signs in the chat room. Money, 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 money up. We love to see it. Drop the money in the chat room. Brought that dollar sign in there. I'm almost certain of it that you want to know what is happening in the money part of this whole topic. Yes. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Jessica. We want to know. Hello, Bags. Hello, Annette. Hello, Karan Rice. Let's go. Okay, good. As long as we on the same page and everybody know, we're going to talk about how journals can increase revenue. Baby, this is a good season, a good time now, because post-COVID, everybody is looking for a hobby, a healing tool, a tool of reflection, a way to reconnect with self. Everybody is talking about journals. And don't let that spook you about, oh, the market is oversaturated. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's just not, right? And I knew that it was a big deal because the thing that made me understand why it was profitable, because like right here it says the biggest misconception is that guided journals are not profitable. Baby, let me tell you what happened to me when I knew the game had changed. I was scrolling through, the IG universe, and I came across, oh, good old Oprah Winfrey. And she had a commercial on there talking about a guided journal. And I said, well, hello, welcome to the party, Miss O, because when we always think about Oprah Winfrey, we always know what? The first thing come up, the book club. All my years, and I've known Oprah, I've been on this planet a long time. I know Oprah with Afro Oprah. I remember Jerry Curl Oprah. Oprah was always talking about what book is in the book club. Ain't no point in time have I ever heard Oprah talk about no journals. But here she was talking about a journal, a guided journal at that. And I said, oh, the game has changed. Because if Oprah is putting it out there in the stratosphere that people need to tap into journaling and getting a guided journal, the game has changed. Now people are looking for something very specific to their life experience and want to find a guided journal that will help them understand whatever it is. Understand retirement, understand being a grandmother, understand menopause, understand whatever it may be. People are looking for guided journals. So they are almost definitely profitable. So about creating a guided journal is overall, introducing guided journals to your business can be a great way to attract new customers, increase revenue, and improve your brand image. Guided journals are the fastest growing industry with over 100 million Google searches for guided journals of all kinds daily. So you could go just open up a whole nother window on your computer or your laptop and just Google, just put in guided journals, right? And underneath there, you'll see this little line underneath there, and it'll tell you how many people were searching for it in today. And I think just in the first minute or every minute, this many people have been searching for a guided journal. Anybody who finds that number, drop it into the chat if you look it up. And I was saying, when I saw that it was over 100 million people looking for a guided journal, I said, okay, God, all I need is 100,000. I don't even need 100 million. I don't even need all 100 million of these people. I just need 100,000. If I'm really thinking about it, you could give me 10,000 and I'll just create something very specific to what they need. And I'll know that my life is set. because I am really speaking to a specific group of individuals. So when you know that and you identify that people are looking for guided journals of all kinds daily, then you know that you can create something to be added to this conversation. I saw a guided journal where it was like 30 days to knitting a sweater or something like that. And I was like, wow, somebody made a guided journal to help someone stay motivated on creating and knitting their first sweater. And I said, they doing guided journals for sweater knitters? This is different. So it's like you have to decide what is that unique thing that you're going to bring to the market that you could create a guided journal for, that people are going to be looking for you, because you can create a guided journal out of anything. Okay. So be very clear about that. Yeah. 100 million searches. I'm gonna look it up too before, when we in Q&A, I'll start looking it up, because I know that number is going up, especially because we're coming into the new year. Like everybody's making resolutions, everybody's getting ready for what they're not going to do next year that they've been doing this year, all of the stuff, right? Whatever it is, they are looking for the tools to support this new resolution that they're trying to create, right? A vision board guided journal, a whatever, manifestation journal, like it's all there. Okay, I can keep going. You know, I'm a endless well of ideas for guided journals because I love it. All right, next. So here's the mistakes that we want to avoid when we get ready to create our guided journals. Be very clear, what is the goal for your business? What role does a guided journal play in it? So yes, I am a life coach, and I use journaling as a tool for my group coaching program. But I also sell this journal to people who are not in my coaching program. But it allows me to keep track and for my clients to track where they started and where they're going by having this guided journal. And I've attracted other clients who have bought my journal, and then they recognize that here's what I always put at the back of my journal. I put my contact information. I put my contact information at the back of every journal, because when they have this experience, they're going to be trying to figure out, how do I find them? How do I keep in touch? How do I stay in line and connected with the person that created this? Because they obviously have a system, right? And this QR code that I use, this just goes to my link tree, because I don't know if my website will ever change or anything else. But I know that through this link tree, I can change the information on the link tree, but and it won't affect any of the information. They will always find that same address, right? So always have your contact information somewhere as a calling card in your journal in some way. Okay, so important. You can lead them to your website, you can lead them to whatever is going to work for them to be able to find you. When I've done this, like people have called me for workshops, like, oh, I see you have a guided journal on self-care. Can you do a workshop for our clinicians about how to take care of themselves while caring for others? It's like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to say no. Absolutely. Right. So you want to be able to, this can go ahead of you and people see what it is. They're like, oh, there's contact information, and it leads them right back to you for your service that you create. So if you're using it as a coach, that's good. The other part of it to understand is whether you invest in getting a bulk order of inventory, or if you're just going to use KDP as a site for your journal. If you are not in the business of selling journals, I strongly advise you to just keep it on Amazon and let them purchase your journal on there. Be very clear though. Here's the thing to be very clear about, that if you do that, the profit point is not very large, right? If it's just a side hustle, then you'll be okay. But don't spend a lot of money trying to get an order of 300 to 500 journals ahead of time if you don't have a sale in plan, or a sales plan, or an audience that you can sell it to, right? If you're just starting out, I would not say make this huge wholesale order to get printed out. Don't do that to yourself. If anything, order a large amount from Amazon, because you can get it what they call the author's price, meaning you can get it at a discount price of just the print, and you can order up to maybe 25 to 50, and you'll get a better type of printing cost from it. But also know that if you're going to ship it out, there's cost to you shipping, right? And being able to create a journal that is weight appropriate, so that when you ship it out, you're not losing money in what you paid to get it, and the packaging process and the shipping process. Because by the time you put that all together, it still might come out to be right about the same if you just had them to purchase it from Amazon, and all Amazon's doing all your shipping, Amazon is doing all the exposure. If somebody Googled your name, your business name, or even the title, you'll come up in the feed with all of the other topics. So if you have a topic on, wellness, or a topic on vegan eating, right, then you'll be amongst all of the other guided journals. And then the shopper now just makes the decision, and you don't have to pay for the shipping. You don't have to pay for packaging for the shipping. If your business plan is guided journals is not my business, it's just an added supplement to my business. Does that make sense? Is everyone understanding what I'm saying about that? Please drop in the chat yes or no if you get it. Number 2, ISBN or not to ISBN. It all depends on if this is your side hustle or part of your vision. Okay. So the thing about the ISBN is this: if you create a guided journal, then the ISBN KDP will give you a free ISBN. The free ISBN is fine, for your journal. But if you plan on putting your journal in a retail space, another bookstore, Walmart, Target, any of these other commercial brand retailers, if you have a KDP ISBN, you cannot put it in other retailers. You can sell it on your own, hand to hand, but you can't put it in other retailers, because that ISBN is Amazon's stamp of saying, we get a piece of this. We own a part of this, right? So if you are just side hustling, get the free ISBN from KDP. But if that is not the case, what you would want to do is purchase your own ISBN from Bowker.com, BOWKER.com. And you could pay for your own ISBN if you plan on being in other retailers. If that's not your plan, it's okay. You can continue to get the free ISBN through Amazon. Yes, Bowker.com. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So that's it there. Let's keep it going. Yeah, you could do both. It just depends on what you're trying to do. If you want to create one that's going into a retailer, you can absolutely do both. So the last one I think I already spoke to: no clear sales plan. Will you print through the self-publishing platform or seek out a printing manufacturer? So if you're going to seek out a printing manufacturer, you got to have a sales plan, because you don't want to have a ton of inventory in your house that you can't move. Okay. So if you're not prepared to take on the responsibility of that, then stick with, just having KDP carry it out for a while. Here's a great strategy. If you know you want to get a large printing manufacturer, order some from KDP, order up to maybe 50 of them, sell those off, and use the money, the profit that you gain from that. If you're going to vend at an event, if you're going to a workshop and you want to have products on hand when you're doing a speaking engagement, use the money from that to purchase a larger, a big manufacturer printing for that, because you may need it more if you're someone that does public speaking or workshops, or, you travel around, or if you vend at certain events, if you're a vendor. So that would make sense for you to save up the money in order to get a larger order and get a larger profit point as a result of it. Okay. Let's see. Next. Okay. So I think we're getting close to that part of it. So how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Are you excited to put this new information to work? Because I'm ready to get to these questions, because I see them popping up and it's coming. I hope this has been helpful thus far. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. Good, good, good. All right. Good. All right. Good. I'm so glad. All right. Let's keep it going. Okay. You're excited to create an impactful guided journal? Yes, I believe that is so. Yes. Okay. So let's regroup and cover what it is that we covered, because this has been officially 1 hour that we did this. See, 5:05. We started at 4:05. Here we are, 5:05, and we made it through. And we're gonna jump right into our Q&A. You learned what what is a guided journal, and how you can create a unique guided journal design. Drop a 1 in the chat if that was covered. Did you get that information? Did you understand it? Drop a 1. Let me know. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Okay. Number 2, you learned the birthright method to create cohesive and transformative content. Drop a 2. Did you get that? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Good. Okay, I'm so glad. Woo. That's always helpful for me. It's confirmation for me. I needed it. Lastly, how guided journals can increase revenue and visibility for your business. Drop a 3 in that chat if that is something that you understood, got the information for that. Yes. Okay, good. We covered it. We covered it. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Let's keep it going so we can get to these Q&A. From this 1 hour masterclass, you are ready to create a unique